A secret trailer for Avengers Doomsday just leaked from CinemaCon, and folks, what's in it changes everything we thought we knew about the ending of Avengers Endgame. So today, we are breaking down every single detail from this leak. We're talking shocking returns from two absolute MCU legends, and a reveal so devastating it suggests Captain America's perfect happy ending might just be the villain origin story for the entire multiverse. Let's get into it.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll talk about the secret trailer itself and why Marvel is tying this movie directly back to Endgame. Then, we are going to unpack a truly desperate and frankly terrifying warning from Thor about a universe-ending threat called incursions. From there, it's the big one, the earth-shattering reveal of Robert Downey Jr.'s new role as Dr. Doom. That's followed by the miraculous return of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. And finally, we are going to connect all of these incredible pieces and reveal the bombshell that sits at the very heart of this new saga.
Okay, so first things first, let's set the stage. This trailer was never, ever meant for you and me to see. It was shown behind closed doors at CinemaCon, and Marvel reportedly even used some fancy tech to remotely disable phone cameras just to stop it from leaking. But, you know, in today's world, secrets like this don't last long, and the details are out. And those details come with a really clear mission statement from Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers. Avengers Doomsday is being made as a direct sequel to Avengers Endgame, not just a follow-up to everything that's come since.
So what we're piecing together here is exclusive, hard-to-get info that Marvel really tried to keep under lock and key, and it gives us this incredible inside look at what they're building. And the strategy? It's unmistakable. They want to reconnect this whole ongoing story with the MCU's absolute cultural and emotional high point, which was Endgame. The goal is to bring back the millions of casual fans who felt like that movie was a real ending and maybe kind of drifted away from all the complex multiversal stuff that came after. And how they're planning to do this? Well, it's pretty wild. According to the producers, they're actually planning to re-release Endgame in theaters, but with brand new footage edited right into the film, footage that's designed to set up the plot of Doomsday. Now, this isn't just some marketing gimmick. This is a deliberate move to weave these stories together. It's all designed to make sure that when Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans come back, it's not just a fun little cameo. No, they are foundational. They are the twin pillars that this entire new conflict is built on.
All right, now let's get into the first major scene that's been described from the leaked footage. We're inside the new Avengers Tower. The mood is tense. You've got a furious and exhausted-looking Thor trying to rally Earth's heroes, and it is not going well. He's desperately trying to unite this fractured, bickering superhero community against a threat he thinks is worse than anything they could possibly imagine.
Now, you really have to get the context here to feel the weight of this line. Thor is standing in a room with a bunch of different hero teams, and they're all at each other's throats, just caught up in infighting and arguments. So when he says, warriors far stronger, he's talking about the original Avengers. He's talking about Tony and Steve and Natasha. He's bringing up the memory of his fallen family, basically trying to shock these new divided heroes into seeing how serious this all is.
Just think about the weight of his words for a second. This is Thor, the guy who literally watched Thanos snap away half the universe. He's lost his father, his brother, his sister, his best friend, half his people. And he is standing there saying that this new threat scares him more. We're talking 5 different hero factions, the Fantastic Four, Sam Wilson's New Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the Wakandans, all arguing a reality itself is about to break. And Thor ends his speech by saying, "Mark my words, we're going to need a miracle." And the name he gives this threat that has him so terrified? He calls it incursions. So this brings us to the big apocalyptic idea of the movie. To really truly understand what's at stake in Avengers Doomsday, you have to understand what an incursion is. This isn't just another alien army coming through a portal. This is a fundamental physics-based breakdown of reality itself. Now, this isn't totally out of left field. The MCU has actually been planting the seeds for this exact idea for a while. We heard this exact explanation from John Krasinski's Reed Richards back in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. He warned Strange that just recklessly jumping between universes leaves behind a footprint. And a big enough footprint doesn't just cause a little trouble, it risks triggering an incursion. Well, now it looks like that theory is becoming the central crisis for the entire saga. So let's be crystal clear about what this means. An incursion is a physical, world-ending event. It's not about a bad guy opening a door. It's about the very fabric of 2 separate dimensions crashing into one another. Imagine 2 entire Earths, with all their people and history, being forced to occupy the exact same space at the exact same time. The result? Total annihilation of one universe. Or, if things go really bad, both.
It is the ultimate extinction-level event. And the leaked trailer apparently shows us this terrifying process. Inside Avengers Tower, there's a monitor displaying 3 planets. They represent 3 different universes: our MCU, the Fox X-Men universe, and the Fantastic Four's universe. As they start to drift closer together, the skies on these worlds turn this deep, ominous red, which, in the comics, is always a sign of a multiversal crisis. This cosmic closeness starts to break the rules. The Bifrost, for instance, is supposed to be a bridge between the 9 realms, right? It shouldn't be able to travel to a whole different universe. But because these worlds are now so physically close, their boundaries are weakening, allowing Thor to beam himself directly to the X-Mansion, which sets up this tragic initial conflict where the Avengers and the X-Men just completely misunderstand what's happening and start fighting each other.
So you gotta be asking, who's the architect of all this chaos? An incursion on this scale doesn't just happen by accident. Someone has to be pushing things towards this catastrophe. Well, the trailer's opening voiceover belongs to the main villain, and it's a voice we all know in a role we never ever saw coming. Robert Downey Jr. is back as Dr. Doom. This line is reportedly delivered by RDJ's Doom as we see the incursion starting on the X-Men's world. And that unthinkable decision he's talking about, that's the moral horror at the center of an incursion. If your universe is about to collide with another, do you destroy that other universe first to save your own? This immediately sets him up not as some cackling bad guy, but as a ruler facing a truly impossible, universe-ending choice. And look, the key thing here is how completely different RDJ is in this role. The performance is described as a total 180 from Tony Stark. The voice is this thick Eastern European accent, completely unrecognizable. The armor is a super faithful comic-accurate design of polished steel and a green cloak. But the detail that's got everyone talking is the sheer display of his power. In one absolutely jaw-dropping moment, Thor throws Stormbreaker right at him, and Doom, without even trying, just casually stops it dead with a single hand. Now, if that moment sounds familiar, it should. It is a direct visual callback, a deliberate echo of Hela stopping and crushing Mjolnir back in Thor Ragnarok. That one single action told us everything we needed to know about Hela's terrifying power. So by having Dr. Doom do the exact same thing to Stormbreaker, a weapon that was literally forged to kill Thanos, the film is instantly telling us that this new villain is a top-tier Thanos-level threat. Or maybe something much, much worse. Okay, so remember Thor's desperate speech, how the universe was on the brink and he said they were going to need a miracle? Well, after showing us this basically unbeatable villain, the trailer gives us that miracle. And it's the other massive universe-shaking return that we've all been waiting for. The footage reportedly cuts from Thor's plea for a miracle to the sudden quiet appearance of an older Steve Rogers. He looks different, longer hair, a full beard. You can see the lines of a long, full life on his face. When he greets Thor, his old friend is in complete shock, saying, "No, it's not you. It can't be you." In a world that's now full of variants and Skrulls and multiversal doubles, Thor needs proof. He needs to know if it's really, truly him. And the proof, oh man, it's one of the most powerful and meaningful symbols in the entire MCU. To prove he is the real Steve Rogers, the man Thor fought beside, Steve just holds out his hand and calls for Mjolnir, and the hammer flies right to him. This isn't about getting ready for a fight. It's this quiet, profound confirmation of who he is, and more importantly, his unwavering worthiness. It's a direct parallel to Vision lifting the hammer in Age of Ultron, that moment that proved to everyone that this new guy had a pure heart. And here, it does the same for Steve, reassuring Thor and us that even after all this time, his soul is still true. And now, we get to the heart of it all. The real reason these two specific actors, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, had to come back in these specific roles. This is where we connect all the dots and reveal the absolutely devastating central conflict of Avengers Doomsday, a conflict born directly out of those final, emotional minutes of Avengers Endgame. So this is the central mystery that the entire trailer builds up to. You've got this new ultimate villain played by the MCU's original, most beloved hero, and you have the return of Captain America, the man who is the soul of the Avengers. So why? Why is this new Doom's entire apocalyptic multiversal crusade focused on finding this one old man? Well, the answer changes everything we thought we knew. Okay, let's walk through this, step by step. At the end of Endgame, Steve Rogers goes back in time to live a full life with Peggy Carter. That was his reward, right? His happy ending. But in doing that, he created a massive, branched timeline. Just like Reed Richards warned, that action left a huge footprint in another reality. That personal, some might even say selfish choice, his one shot at a life he'd lost, had a catastrophic unforeseen consequence. It destabilized reality, and it triggered a full-blown incursion.
That incursion completely wiped out an entire parallel universe. Trillions of lives gone in an instant. And in that universe lived its greatest protector, a hero king named Victor Von Doom, whose wife and child were killed in the cataclysm. And now, that man, this Dr. Doom, blames one person for destroying his world and killing his family, the man who created that unstable timeline. He is hunting Steve Rogers for revenge.
And that's the incredible gut punch of a twist. The beautiful, emotional, perfect ending that we all cheered for, Captain America finally getting his dance, is the direct cause of the tragedy that creates the multiverse's greatest new villain. From Dr. Doom's perspective, Steve Rogers isn't a hero. He's the man who sacrificed an entire universe, who killed Doom's family, all so he could have a happy life. And that is the haunting question this film is apparently going to leave us with. It forces us to completely re-examine the true cost of victory and the morality of our heroes' choices in a world with infinite consequences. It asks us to look back at the most triumphant, emotionally satisfying moment of the entire Infinity Saga and ask ourselves, was it really a happy ending? Or was it just the beginning of a much darker, much more tragic story?